SEO success in 2013. So, interactive, we have about 65 people down in Philadelphia. We also just opened the San Diego office, and if anybody follows our data, turn up a little bit more. Yes. So, we're in Philadelphia, and 65 of us there. We have an office in San Diego, and also Elena. If anybody follows her on Twitter, she is kind of our Madrid office. So, working with 3 different ones right now, and that's kind of what that's how we message all of our content on a day-to-day basis. It's all our little kid picture. We don't actually hire children. If you want to follow me, I'm Melson on Twitter. If you want to tweet anything great, shoot me any questions. I'll be here afterwards if I don't get you. I'm pretty active on Twitter. So there have been a lot of changes in the last year in search. We've gotten the unusual linking warning notices went out. We had a lot of does anybody want to admit to having to deal with these, whether you cause them or not? Does anybody have to deal with unnatural links and trying to clean out profiles? One. Okay. I hesitate to raise my hand as well. So there's been that went out. Also, we've gone through, since this time last year, 11 different versions of Panda. We've had, Panda, I think we're up to 25 now, and it's good. It continues to push things that should be in search engines out of there. It takes care of that low quality, those low quality results which aren't good for users. We've also gone through more recently the last big Penguin updates, which seem to be a lot more, everybody's a lot more scared of what Google's going to do, but in the end, I think everybody was pretty happy with what's going on. There is still some spam, and I think Google's still getting better at it, but they're taking it one piece at a time. And all these updates with Panda, with these link warning notices, with Penguin, these are all things that are going to be beneficial for us because we're all doing really good things, and our sites are all, we're building great content, we've got great assets that Google should be ranking well, but there's probably a lot of spam ahead of you that you've been frustrated with in the past. You deserve to rank higher, you deserve to get more traffic, you deserve to get more revenue, to get more sales. So this is all great things that have happened in the last year. So there's also been a big conversation, which Brendan jumped into. It's really moving beyond SEO. So SEO isn't just SEO anymore. It's not just creating title tags. It's not just making sure that the architecture is good, dealing with robots.txt. It's SEO has, and SEO's job has become a lot more in the last year, 2, 3 years. So SEO, it's been all over. It was on SEO Mods. There have been numerous blog posts about how in SEO, your job isn't just SEO, it's PR, it's advertising in different ways. It's a huge responsibility now that moves just beyond the traditional sense of the term. So I think it all kind of comes down to one large item, one large word, and that's relationships. I think businesses continue to need to build relationships in order to really succeed. In the past, there's this perception where I can automate as much as possible. I don't have to spend time on it, and I can win. And kind of the mentality behind this was, you know what, I'm just going to get the links. What's my job? Just go out there and get links. Doesn't matter how, doesn't matter what they are. I was thrilled to see Bruno talk about Black Hat earlier, because I was going to ask, who's felt like getting cheated by some of these Black Hat people in the past, where they do these methods. They've got a lot of spam in there that's somehow making them rank well, somehow making them succeed. And I'm really thrilled to see him go over and over them. In the past, it's been, let me get as many links as possible. I think he said $45 does all these things. And yeah, profile looks great. You know what? Because I get my anchor text. I get my ping computers linked at the bottom. It doesn't take any time. I can automate it as much as possible. No need for a relationship. They allow you to create a profile, and that's what a lot of people are going to get ahead. Article directories, that was another huge thing where I'll dive into article directories in a minute, but people were just churning articles, getting them rewritten again, posting the same kind of slop, and getting links from it. And that's what was working. Widgets, maybe you're a fashion company and you've got a little widget on the side and had some blogger posted for you, and they talk about the newest women's knit tops, maxi skirts, high-waisted shorts, oh, look at all these new products going through there, right? And then they have 50 links in there with anchor text linking to all their products. And it was just, it wasn't natural, it wasn't building a relationship, it was just trying to do whatever you could to get a link on that site, and then once you got it, good, I'm done. I got my link from that site, got what I need, and I'm done. So everything seemed 100% scalable. It was frustrating when you're trying to do real stuff, real RCS, and you're getting beat out by something. Google used to love that, but then, again, really happy for these updates that have come out, and I think everybody should be. So let me go into a quick slide about the continued decline of these strategies. So I'm not the best at math, but I decided to take 844 article directories, things that look like this. And I wrote a post about it a couple months ago, and I wanted to see what was Google doing with these 844 article directories. And found out that I benchmarked in October and I said, wow, they're not treating these really nice. I looked at pages indexed as a quality score, because Google's going to be spending their time indexing their site, using their crawling resources. They're going to be returning these for users, and that's what they want to show. That's what people are seeing. And if they continue to take pages out, that's a good indicator on how this isn't going to be how these sites are being valued. So out of 844, 31% of them lost 50% or more of their pages indexed. So they used to have 1,000 pages, now they have 500. They used to have 100, now there's 50, but a lot of them lost 90% or more. So Google's continuing, even today, with more and more versions of Panda to get rid of these, just this slop that's taking it up. 10% of them, de-indexed. Google doesn't even want to show them. They're not worth doing anything with. And 30% of them from October, there was no coming back to playing in Google's game. They are still de-indexed. 30% that were de-indexed before. So moving back, like these strategies, using these tactics just don't work anymore, even though they have in the past. And I want to talk a little bit more about relationships. And when we say relationships, it's, well, I don't have time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Zero time. I couldn't find that little clip of that link in time for this, but there's zero time. You said, well, how am I supposed to do that when it's just me? Or what am I supposed to hire someone to manage my relationships so I can have better relationships with other sites? It sounds complicated. Relationships are complicated. So what I want to go into is, if you are strapped time and you still want to get value from relationships, I want to look at 3 quick, when I say quick, I mean quality. Wins for links. It looks at relationships. But then also, if we're talking about links, I also want to talk about context, because I think they go hand in hand with how Google values them. So I can get into the more exciting part, so I'm going to go into 2 content pieces first. So taking time to clean up your stuff. When someone says you need to clean up your site, what do? Where do you go? Usually webmaster tools. That's the place where Google tells you everything that's wrong with your site. Or they hint at it sometimes. They won't tell you exactly what's wrong all the time. But when you go to webmaster tools, you're looking for those 404 pages, those errors, those unnatural linking warning notices, maybe titles that are missing from pages. Those are all things that when someone says clean up your site, good, clean them up. One thing that I just kind of scan over, I'm like, short meta descriptions, I really don't care. There's a lot of other stuff going on with my site. I don't even want to look at that. So short meta description. It's not a ranking factor. I'm not going to waste time. But I had time 3-4 months ago to really dive into a client who really had nothing wrong with their site. I was like, man, this is great. Oh, let me look into these short meta descriptions. There's 156 of them. I wonder why there's so many. And a lot of them were something like 30 characters. I started to look into them. There may be 5 words. And I realized the client, who's very tech savvy, who is on top of their SEO, they produce over 300 videos a year. They are in this. They said, we want to produce as much as possible. We said, great, content videos, let's get it all done. But then meta descriptions, they were doing one thing wrong. they put an extra quote in their meta description, closing off early. Because in their history, some products had nicknames. So they started writing their meta description in the code, they had their quote there, and Google goes, oh, all right, you started to talk about this product, you put that there, now it's closed off. Cut it short. So another thing that they did, they also had inches as parts of their descriptions. So when they put 15 inches, 18 inches, Google looked at that and went, oh, you're done. Got it. Cut it off there. So what was happening to that, it started to look like this. We started to get slop in engines because Google is just picking what they think is a good meta description. And this isn't the client, but it's very similar to what's showing up. Refrigerators, 10-word refrigerator model, 1/6 capacity, narrow body, category, fresh door refrigerator, single door bottom freezer. I guess there's a refrigerator on that page. I'm not really sure. I don't know anything about how you're going to get it to me. I don't know. I'm kind of confused. I'll probably pick something else. Another thing that was happening, I was looking for some events in Montreal. I was like, oh, Montreal Jazz Fest, that sounds pretty cool. But this is also what's happening to our client. It was like, oh, it's only that long? All right, I'll just post it, it's that long. And when we do that, we're getting our competitors, letting them get, oh, just one more line. Search results. So when someone searches for something, maybe our competitor now, they're the fourth, fifth guy now, just, he's in the view now. Whereas before, our meta description, that one line helped push them down. But I think the worst thing that's happening here, not that we're returning slop and letting Google decide, not that it's returning something that's short, we lost our call to action. We have nothing in there to say, hey, like this client, they have lots of great calls to actions that we've had tested in PPC, even though we don't do their PPC. We hadn't met with their PPC team and what's really working for you guys? What's a call to action that on your A/B test and then continue using and testing against? What are some ones that people clicked on? They thought it was valuable. So in their meta description, all the other ones, we had no restocking fees, free shipping, 10 out of 10 accelerators, they can be trusted. No hassle exchanges. Oh, if it doesn't fit, I can return it. There's no hassle. Awesome. Price match guarantee. It takes care of so many different securities that you might have during your buying process, and they were just gone. So that's why I talk about short meta descriptions. It's like you saw that, you're like, oh man, this is going to be pretty elementary. And it is kind of elementary, but when we look at what happened to site traffic for those pages, well, site traffic for the site grew 20%. They were in a seasonal kick. So I was like, oh no, I don't know how well those pages are going to do. So we look at pages, that traffic just coming to those pages, and those pages received a 52% increase when we fixed meta descriptions. Okay. So something like that, and that 52% increase resulted in thousands of extras in sales for them. Next one for content. I wanted to find something where manufacturer descriptions were being used a lot. It's just something stock the manufacturer has on their site. So I searched for Dyson DC41. Apparently it's a very nice vacuum cleaner. And I wanted to see who was ranking in there. Bed Bath & Beyond, Fortune 500 company. They're ranked for that term. They use this. All right, it's a manufacturer description, they rank well. They don't have to do any extra work. Yahoo Shopping has the same thing. They use the same description. Don't have to do any extra work. And so we had a client who had all these, and they were ranking on the first page. They were getting traffic for a lot of terms for these products. And not that, they sold products that are $30, $40, $50. And they pointed out, and they said, well, those people are using manufacturer descriptions are ranking well, so that can't be that. You guys have to do better link building. You have to do, there's something wrong with the way you're internally linking. You're not getting in front of the right audience. All these things were wrong. And we said, all right, let's take a step back. I think you missed a step here. Let's just look at those companies that you're looking at. Maybe someday you will be a Fortune 500 company. Today you are not. You do not have the authority where Google looks at it and says, all right, well, they have the same description as the manufacturer, but it's better than the I know those guys. I trust them. They've got good service. They've got good products. People like them. You're not that guy. So we said, you know what? Let's just try it out. Whenever we're trying to push something like this, we don't say, all right, well, I need you to spend all of your resources writing content. We're going to hire a content writer. We're going to charge $50 a page. We need all 400 pages rewritten by this date. No. We say, you know what? You could be right. Let's test it. Let's just test it. Don't waste time. So testing it resulted in this. They spent 1 hour writing two new sets of copy for these pages. Anybody would want to spend an hour to get 10,000? Is that not worth it to anybody? No. So testing it and looking at just, well, who's writing well and using the manufacturer descriptions. Am I that caliber? Probably not, unless you're working with giant companies. Looking at getting that unique content in front of Google. There's this threshold where they look at it and say, yeah, I can accept those people, but I can't accept you because I don't fully trust you. Oh, but you've got great content that I've never seen before? I like that a lot better. The client for those 2 pages, for some of their top tier terms, for those 2 pages, moved from the back half of the first page to the front. Now they're in the top 5. They got a lot more traffic. They got a lot more revenue. It's being rolled out to the rest of the product. All right. So let's talk about the 3 quick quality for links. Check the other versions of your site. So what do I mean by other versions? SEOinteractive.com, SEOinteractive.co, .net, .org. I want to see who linked to these other versions of my site. That might not be me. That might not actually go back to me. I mean, there's a certain number of domains you probably own and have to renew every year. It's expensive, but maybe they might spell it wrong too. Maybe somebody linked to sear.com. That's not us. It doesn't redirect to us. So you should probably check it. So check it. All right, you use the OSE. And as you're like, this is for IKEA. What's a big company here? They've got a place right down about a mile down the road from us in Philadelphia. And all right, well, nobody is at IKEA.co. All right. Always check different tools. I think OSE is great. I think Moz has a lot of great tools. But in this instance, Ahrefs. It's a tool that gets something like $99 a year, and they were able to find, hey, 4 referring domains. 4 different sites linked to me, to IKEA.co. IKEA.co doesn't redirect to IKEA.com. All right. Well, what was one of those links? Oh, house at home. It's very, it talks about basically living. Everything that goes into your house, into your yard. IKEA.co, or house at home. It's a domain authority 75. Really quality, really good site. So, I think there's 2 ways of looking at this problem now. All right. It's not redirecting me, and you're living in the wrong place. So, I'm going to buy the .co301 redirect, and I'm done. I think that's amazing. I think what you could do, that's just your temporary solution. Yeah, is it going to work? It'll work. Is it going to be ideal? Probably not. I wouldn't want to drive with flashing from my head. So, how about giving a new product to review? They were reviewing one of IKEA's products. When you say, hey, we've got this new product, that article came out a year ago. What are your customers looking for? What are they interested in this year? Give him an expert interview. Hey, we just hired this guy, and he's been in the industry for so long. We'd love for him or her to have an interview with you. 5 questions. We can do video, whatever you want. You want to do an interview? Maybe give him a value add. Hey, I noticed that all this is saying, by the way, here's this link you might want to fix. But now that I'm here, can we give your customers some sort of value add? We've got this sale going on. We've got this discount code. Can I give your customers something? For the last one, we provide some exclusivity. You say, hey, we've got this spring catalog coming out, and we can get to a few places, and as soon as we say so, you can publish whatever. So we'll put you on that list if that's cool with you, and you could be one of the first people to highlight our new product line. Would you want that? Cost the client nothing. To get them on some new email list that just sends it out a little bit ahead of time, costs them nothing. Gets them their link fixed and gets them a relationship with this site where they go, oh, that's really, they didn't have to do that. I even linked to them wrong. They helped me out with that. Like, cool. Instead of just 3-1 redirecting, I'm done with it. I think when you look at things that way, you waste relationships. You miss those interactions where it could be something long-standing where now every year a site like House at Home publishes something about your company. They're willing to retweet what you post. Maybe willing to share things that are on Facebook that in the end are going to drive more customers to you, helping the long run. So when I say look at other versions of your site, look at misspellings. Look at the CCTLEs that you don't own, the .co.uk is the .co.nets.org. Look who's linked to your Facebook, LinkedIn, or maybe your job or your site, Glassdoor, and see maybe why they aren't linking to your main site. You can either uncover, well, somebody likes something that happened on Facebook with your company and they're linking to your Facebook page, or they said, I saw this company on LinkedIn and I really love them. Great, you linked to our LinkedIn page. There's got to be some way that we look at that and find a relationship where we can get value, push to our own site, get a link to the main website, and keep that going for years to come. Next one, I want everybody to get all the value out of their images. All of them. So, the ways we did this in the past, I think I might have talked about this last time I was here, just getting your images, making sure that when people are using your logo, that you get those links from it. So I use a little plugin called search by image. Is everybody know that one in Chrome?
Yeah, it's Google search. Reverse image search.
Reverse image search, Google, yeah. So it's I thought I had the right one. I just grabbed a screenshot from Google Illustrator, but it's the one little one that you install it. It puts a little camera next to any photo that you hover over. So instead of having to try to find where that logo is in other ways, you just click on that and it goes, oh, well, so you're after your alt text there, and here's all 294 places where I found your image. So it's like, okay, great. Well, I can go through all of them and then try to find where I'm not getting links. But that's, I mean, if you have an intern who's really bored, sure, you can do it that way. Another way you might want to look for a place where you know you should get a link, maybe throw the word sponsors in there. And you get, you find out what is sponsoring and find out, so solar jackets, I think we had an intern from Georgia Tech maybe, I don't think we sponsored something for solar jackets. Water for Slava, that's Will's wife's charity where they dish out water. That's cool. We should be able to get a link from them. People sponsor them. Girl Development IT, it's a coding group of young ladies that comes to our office once in a while. Okay, these are all places where I know that my logo is being used. I can check them all really and see if I'm getting a link there. If not, simple email. Hey, so glad, so happy with the partnership we have going. Would you mind linking to us through our logo so other people can find out that's here? Thanks. Nice and short. But there's a better way moving forward. Anybody use ImageRater? No. It's really cool. And it's free. Well, free at one. If you have 10,000 different product images, you'll have to use one of their paid ones. But if you have a number of maybe infographics or case studies or other things that are, you have a dozen assets that you think are worth having people link to, and you want to, well, infographics and logo probably the best ones. So you can put them in there, put the URL in there, and what it does, it kicks it out for you. It can export, which is what a lot of these tools aren't doing. You can export, and when you do, it gives you your URL. It gives you the name first found, and it'll continue looking for that image, and it'll continue sending you email updates. Hey, I found that image again. Hey, I found that image again, which is great, and it's the most accurate one I've seen so far. So then, is anybody streaming frog here? Yes. StreamFrog, really, really useful tool. What you do, take all those URLs where those are all the URLs where your images, whoever you're sponsoring something, the very on the page. You can load that into StreamFrog and go to their custom store and say I don't want them to contain Melson.com. I don't. Any ones that don't have that in there, give me that list. So now StreamFrog just does all the work in a matter of a couple of seconds and looks through all of what ImageRater pulled and says, oh hey, here's 20 places that are using your logo or your infographic, and you're not getting a link. And then you start that conversation. But it's not this kind of conversation. You don't go, hey, you're using my link, and I need you to, are you using my logo, you're using my product image, you're using whatever it is, I need you to stop. No, those are all link opportunities. Those are all places where you can go, hey, I'm thrilled that you wanted to use our product on your site. I'm thrilled you wanted to repost our infographic. I'm thrilled about what you guys say about our bridal gowns. Would you mind if you go, by the way, we've got this exclusive list we can put you on. By the way, we've got a great sale going on right now. By the way, we have more of that. I saw that you had a lot of comments on that post. It seemed like a lot of your readers were interested in this. I'd be happy to come on your site and talk about it. But really take off those blinders and look at the bigger picture of how you can have a relationship with that website. If you want anything more about Screaming Frog, it's extremely useful. I don't ever remember the URL for it, but if you search Screaming Frog guide, Ashley Bushnell, she wrote some ginormous guideline, and there's 55 different ways to use Screaming Frog, and all of them are as worthwhile as last week. And hit her on Twitter, she's very responsive if you have any questions about it. But Screaming Frog, yes. Combine tools. Find what works best for both of them, and make it, find something that works great for you. So the next one, I want everybody to hit the referral section of GA for 2011. Go back there, find out everybody who's traffic there. So you're going to want to exclude email. You'll probably want to exclude the word Google. Maybe some other things where you know it's going to bring back results that you can't really mine into. So grab all of them. Google in the last couple months actually makes you don't have to hack the URL to pull all of your referrals. They've actually added 500,000, 2,500, 5,000 in there now. So you can just click 5,000 for last year. If you have more than that, awesome. You can still hack the URL at that point. But pull those referrals. And do that for 2012 as well. And also pull so you're pulling this website, the track that it sends, and also pull the conversion. So with that data, I'm sorry I did not give you a clean URL. If you plug in that, open that up, it's going to take you to a sheet where you can just drop in your 2011 refer to traffic and the optional 2011 conversion rate. And then there's another tab at the bottom where you can plug in your 2012, and then this tab will say, hey, this person sent you a ton of traffic in 2011 and sent you nothing in 2012. By the way, it converted. You're able to easily sort that and find out who was the new traffic and converted well. And what you're going to find, you might have like sponsored something in 2011, but you didn't sponsor in 2012. Maybe it was a word camp, maybe it was a local little team, but you're at least able to see who was sending you traffic. What aren't I doing this year? Why aren't they sending me any traffic? You're going to find contests. That contest that blogger. Whatever happened to that? I don't know. Let's email them and ask them, what's going on with their site? What are the readers into? You're going to find archive interviews where, from over a year ago now, someone wanted to interview you in 2011, and now they've said nothing about you since. I'd probably take a minute or two to find out what are they talking about now that either I've got some expertise around, or someone in my company knows a lot about that, and they get offer another interview. Also reviews. They reviewed a product back in 2011, but not now. Why not? Can we send them another one? Can we, what do we do to get back on the radar and get back in front of our readers and rekindle that relationship that was already there? These are warm leads for building relationships. So, when it comes down to it, I love what Nicholas had to say about acting well. I like to say about visiting different companies. Going on site, acting like a human. Throughout all this, act like a normal person. You're going to be communicating and trying to rekindle relationships. I'm going to go into a little bit about outreach and what totally does not work, and then a couple of things that did work. But when we were acting like a human and going and visiting with our clients, we were able to find out more about our customers. We went to one client and found out that they had a number of doctors working for them, people who had gotten different awards. We were able to meet people who said, oh, you need people to interview? I'd love to do an interview. All I do here is I'm not using my fullest here. I love doing interviews. I have the time. These are huge opportunities we found just by going and visiting clients, sitting there, working there. Some were fun than others. One of them had, I think, more combat game and a half pipe in their warehouse. Another one was just desks and cubicles. But we actually got more out of going and working in that desk and cubicles office, finding these great people that we leveraged for interviews, and that we leveraged for getting highlighted in some local papers too. Talking to people in person, that's pretty human. I know I talked a little bit asked about scholarship link building. When our client has a scholarship, we go out and call. First time we did it, we tried just emailing everybody. We converted at about 3 to 4%. It's hard to get on someone's radar when you're flashing the phone, when you're calling, you're making a noise in their office, and you're actually offering something great. Talking to people in person, oh, okay, that's a voice. You have a chance to charm them, form a relationship. Call people, converts a lot. So for outreach, here are a couple items where acting like a human, if you do outreach, you're just sounding like you're trying to get the link. No one wants to read that. So something that would never work. If you can use this anchor text instead of, like, half the people email are going to be like, why should I, it's not right, did I do something wrong? I don't, delete. Article's fine, it's driving traffic to my blog, I don't care about your anchor text. When was the last time somebody sent you a cold pitch with a 4-paragraph email where you read all of it, and then went, oh, that sounds great. I don't want to read that. I go, oh, what is this? Okay, it's no, next. No one wants to read a 4-paragraph email. They want to be short and simple. So I noticed you used a no-follow on my link, and I was hoping that you could change it because if you're trusting what I'm saying and Google values a follow, like it sounds, how spammy and like a con artist you sound. If you're like, you change that, take that no follow off there for me, thanks. Sound like a con artist. Like, notice no follow. You shouldn't care about no follows. You're gonna get, people are gonna link to you using a no follow. You're still gonna get traffic from that. Some of our greatest links, we had one in a fashion industry where a person no followed the links, but they were giving away a pair of black shoes. Didn't matter. Sent so much traffic to the site, and then what they did with that contest, it was no follow, but then, hey, go on our site and pick out a pair of shoes that you love, put it in a comment below. So people are commenting with their website name, oh, I love this Nick shoe, I love these Christian Living Tongs, these. We now have a whole set of people we can contact. There was no following, but we still have a good relationship because we didn't try to act like some sort of a technical SEO and say, remove that? No. Turn it into a big opportunity for us. In exchange for, it would be mutually beneficial. If something's mutually beneficial, you don't have to tell the person it's mutually beneficial. Well, no. Think about it. I need to convince you that what I'm telling you, it's good for both of us. Let me tell you why in this 4-paragraph email. No, that doesn't work. I had other ones. I think I threw the wrong version of it, but there's a bunch. Just when you're writing these outreach, act like a normal person, like you're having a conversation. Something that we found works well is using the site in the title. People see, oh, review for whatever site.com. Okay, that's my site. What do they have to say about it? We found they open those more and they respond to those more. People also feel more comfortable with brands now. This goes for if, as an agency, we're trying to tell a lot about a number of our clients. We had outreach for 2 different groups, clients that were offering the same thing. And we started one with a Fortune 100 company, and we started the other one with somebody else, and they were offering the same product. And the response rate for the one group was almost double. The only difference being that the first name there was a Fortune 100 company. So people like what they're familiar with. Oh, I know that company. Well, what else is there in there? Versus, I don't know who that is. I don't have time for this. Moving on. Keeping it clear and concise. People don't need to read a novel about what you're offering them, what are all that. Just find out if they're interested. Hey, we're doing this great thing. See, your site's all about that great thing. I think you'd be interested. I'd love to send you more information. Love that. Also, how are you measuring your outreach? Let's go back to that. How are you measuring your outreach? Because we used to just finish. Oh, mine has an asset. All right. How are we, how are we doing? Multiple people in our company are pitching, sending these emails. We started in the last year, a little more, actually tracking down, all right, what is your conversion rate when you send out an email? What is yours? And some of the people that are really great to talk to, really smart people, just bad outreach. And you know what we do to those people? We don't send them to the corner. We don't bash them. We go, all right, listen. Seems like I'm doing so well with that. let's look at some of the messages you sent. Let's look at your response times. Because you get responses back less, whatever percent less than the average here. Let's work on it. So by working on that, you're making your team better, your coworker better. You're also helping the client more. So I like that. Building relationships internally with your team and helping them grow, then actually making something beneficial for your client. And then when they make mistakes, we had on our second day, someone pitch SEO mods for a guest blog post. She sent a nice letter to Jen over there saying, hey, we're Seer Interactive, we've got a client that can do a great guest post for you, let us know. And it was met with the best intentions. But she just pitched SEO mods, and that's not the way you do it. And by having a relationship with Jen, she just sent us an email and like, I don't know who this is, but they just sent me this. You might want to talk to them. You might want to enlighten them and have them fix their outreach. And not just for guest posts. There's always, you can always submit. We have that page that she didn't see. Okay. So what do? We sat down with the person, and then from then on, she's been involved. She's been great. And I think it's that one situation where we're oh, okay, I got it. I made a mistake, and we helped her grow, and now she's great at outreach. Another one, we had a guy, he wasn't having the best day. Some bad things were happening in his life, and he let some of these emails go, where he had the right title in the email, the right subject line, but then, dear blogging, he forgot to swap in the blog's name with blog name. So all these emails went out just like that. So what can you do? You can well, not even your acronym with people. Sorry, they didn't respond to me. Sweep it under the rug. But instead, he's like, hey, listen, I did a bad mistake. I didn't ruin our outreach list, but I sent this email to 25 people. I'm really sorry. I think hiring such honest people, if you're willing to admit mistakes, take on the blame, as long as you don't keep doing that, like, it's okay to do that once. It's going to happen. What did we do? We didn't just, later on, we contacted all those 25 people that he emailed and said, hey, we know exactly what just happened. You probably got an email that looked kind of spammy. It looked like a template. It was bad. You know it's bad. We wanted to offer there was something like 10% off. So we'd like to give you 25% off for your customers. We said it was good for a week. It's good for 2 weeks. You can totally delete this if you want, but this is an honest mistake, and we really do value you and your site. Out of those 25, it was something like 15 of them were like, oh, no sweat, I get it, I'll post it. We got us over half of them. And those bloggers are still people that we go to cover different product launches and to have relationships with, because we were honest. So addressing your problem, finding out you're acting like a human, you telling people it's going to be mutually beneficial, correcting, you know what, mistakes happen, it's all right. And then improving outreach. It's the last part. Acting like a human, it's kind of the before you even say it, is this pitch, is this human? Think about it. Keep those relationships, look at my cats, and that's what I have. Any questions, please shoot me a message on Twitter or call me afterwards. Thanks.